Hey everybody, Randall Burton back for another quick little video here. I'm just going to touch base on a couple things that our fascist-in-chief Donald Trump has done over the past last week. First, he went and said that transgender Americans could not serve in the military. He's thinking apparently that he can perform an edict over Twitter. And then secondly, he spoke in front of a bunch of police officers and said, hey, I hope you guys beat the shit out of, your perps. I hope you beat the crap out of them. Police brutality, that's the way to go. And, things come in threes. He went on Twitter, alright, and even spoke to people. I believe he said the same thing when he was speaking in front of those cops, that he absolutely hopes Obamacare fails. Hidden message, Donald Trump just said in an open forum to the general public, to Americans from sea to shining sea, he hopes your health care fails. What president sits there and says, I hope your health care fails? It just defies logic. It defies intellect. It's just absolutely insane. We have a commander-in-chief who just said he hopes millions and millions of American citizens see their health care fail. But it's amazing, he's still got his supporters. People still love the guy because we're Americans and we're star fuckers. Bottom line, we don't go for the steak, we go for the sizzle. And it just astounds me that people who were so critical of Obama's every move happily sit aside like, oh yeah, Donald Trump, he's just draining the swamp. Draining the swamp? He's whipping out his presidential dick and taking a piss is what he's doing in the swamp, ladies and gentlemen. And like I said, it defies logic that people still support this guy, even though he's openly said he wishes police would be more brutal. He hopes people lose their health care. And then you have the transgender issue, and I take this personal because I have a cousin who's transgender and in the military, and guess what? He pays out of pocket for all of his medical costs relating to his transition. Okay? Not a single dollar of his transition is being funded by taxpayer dollars. That's a fact. Okay, and I've heard that the amount bandied about that even the individuals who do see their transgender transformation medication paid for by taxpayer dollars, it only runs out to about, a small amount, $8 million. Well, $8 million is a drop in the bucket when you're talking about a industry that has a budget in the trillions. And we're seeing that more money spent on Viagra. And, if you're so cost conscious on, what the military spends, how about no more guaranteed contracts with Lockheed Martin to make weapons and planes and helicopters and shit that the military don't need? Okay, right now there are, I believe, 75,000 planes that are sitting untouched. Air Force didn't order them. Air Force didn't need them. Air Force said, we do not need these. Stop. Okay? There's where your military spending's being done. It's being spent on shit we don't need. Of course, maybe if we stopped having so many wars and our zeal to be a dominant power in the world, this authoritarian society that wants to rule everything, maybe then, hey, maybe we wouldn't need to spend so much on the military. Or maybe if we just modernize things to the point where we can actually replace troops with drones, as we are doing right now, and just other automation, as other countries are beginning to do, maybe we'll be spending a little bit less on the military, and we'll be putting less lives in harm's way. But we have no time for logic. We have no time for intellect. We have no time for thinking. This is the Donald fucking Trump administration. These people invented non-thinking. Okay? And this Trump, it's kind of funny. A couple weeks ago, he just did that thing where we sat around the table and pledged their authority and their loyalty to Donald Trump. And by the way, Donald Trump did say several months earlier that he would never ask people to give him a vow of loyalty like Robert Mueller. But hey, so Jeff Sessions, who followed the law and recused himself from the Russian investigation, he said, hey, listen, I had meetings with these people. I can't be partial. Jeff Sessions, being an attorney, somebody who knows the law, said, hey, I have to recuse myself. And Donald Trump absolutely lost his fucking mind on that shit as well. Accusing Sessions of being disloyal, and now he's looking at actually firing the Attorney General, who is the highest ranking law authority in the United States, so he can insert a yes man who will eventually put the kibosh on the whole Russia investigation. But that's where we are right now, okay? Congrats, America. In the 2016 election, you were so afraid of a Democratic Socialist and Bernie Sanders that you went the hell ahead and elected America's very first fascist president. Congrats. Great job, America. All right. You know, this is why people look at this country and laugh at us. All right. We installed a fascist who right now is got a, maybe a dick inferiority complex and has to, bump in front of people and say, hey, I'm Donald Trump, look at me. And this is why we are basically burning every bridge to every domestic power in the world right now. And, hey, all I'm going to say is this, to all you people that installed the fascist Trump, this is all on you. Own it. You created this mess. And whatever happens from here on in, it's all your fault. Deal with it, own the mess, and let's move on. And that all being said, I do want to close out with, I think it's absolutely disgusting what Donald Trump is doing to the transgender Americans in this country by telling them that they cannot serve in the military and defend the country they love. Even though we give this sect of society so much grief, so much bullshit, to the point where many of them are committing suicide at the rate of what? Maybe 3 or 4 a day? Because of what we do to these people, the way we criticize them, they're still have the bravado to go out and defend the rights of the very people who want to marginalize their lives and tell them they can't live the way they see fit. That's where we are. And I think it is absolutely embarrassing. I think it's one of the worst things ever to happen to the way we run the military in this country. At least Truman was smart enough to say, hey, let's desegregate the troops. Okay, no more of this black and white fighting the same cause but in separate units. Richard Nixon, who's perhaps one of the most vile presidents ever to be in this country until the fascist Trump was elected, even he had the foresight to say, hey, it's not right that 18-year-olds get to go to war and die in a country that they can't even have a say in how it's governed. We were making pretty good progress. And then Donald Trump came along. And then he pulled the bullshit that he just did last week with the transgender Americans. And for anybody like these Tommy Lahrens to go out and say that they're a distraction to the military. Listen, if a fucking transgender person is a distraction to your military unit, that's on the military commander for being inept. Bottom line. People in the military don't care if someone's gay, atheist, transgender, pansexual, bisexual, whatever. They just care if that person has their fucking back in the battle. That's all they care about. Enough of making these people a goddamn wedge issue. Enough of trying to appease your moronic, insane, over-religious fucking Christian base. Let the transgender people serve in the military of the country they love, despite the fact of all the grief we give them. What's the harm? Seriously, there is none. It's just based out of fear. And that is going to do it for this edition of Randall's Rants. I'd like to thank everybody who tunes in. And, there's that little comment box. Feel free to disagree with what I said here. And let's have an open debate about it if you want to disagree with me. And by that, you don't call me names and I won't call you names. So I won't call you names at all because you basically lose your positive discourse when you do that. But in any event, thanks to everybody for tuning in. And I will see you whenever the next video is. Later.